welcome back to Usagi Motors, and welcome to another episode where we're talking about the Velocity Staks that I put on my 1973 Isuzu Bellet. I wanted to actually make another video about this instead of just putting an annotation on the previous video because I was a little misunderstood about how exactly these were made. In my previous video I said that they were a fully 3D printed Velocity Stak, but 3D printing materials are not necessarily strong enough to withstand the kind of heat and just hellish temperatures and atmosphere that's going on inside of an engine bay. I mean, you're going to be having high heat and fuel running into these, especially if you've got carburetors that sometimes get a little messy. The fuel can bounce up into the Velocity Stak at idle and stuff like that. So they're actually not fully 3D printed. The 3D printing is used in the process. So I actually talked with the guy at Velo Stak. Awesome dude. I asked him to explain the process to me without giving away any kind of trade secrets. And so I kind of want to relay that to you guys so you can understand why these hold up to the heat and the atmosphere in the engine bay. So they start by just kind of discussing how they want to design the actual stack or whatever it is that they're trying to produce. Maybe the stack or the base piece here. They start with just a discussion about that, and then they build it in a 3D modeling program. And once they have it built in a 3D modeling program, they will print it out on a 3D printer. That's the part that's 3D printed. So they'll print out, say, two different pieces. So for this Velocity Stak, it'll be the base piece and then the stack itself. That'll be printed on the 3D printer, and then they'll go through and hand smooth it out, make it as smooth as possible, because 3D printers have been, known to leave little ridges and not be perfectly smooth when they print, and that's just a thing that happens from 3D printing, the way that it lays it down. So they will go through and hand smooth everything out and spend hours making them as smooth and perfect as possible. And then they will use that 3D printed piece to create a mold. And then from that mold, they will then use a catalytic resin to pour it into the mold and create the actual stack that's used. Now this is good because it gives them the freedom to design pretty much whatever they want using 3D printing, and then by using a catalytic mold or a catalytic resin in a mold, they can create something that's strong enough to withstand the heat and the temperatures within the engine bay. So I was a little confused on how exactly they did that, because 3D printing can be pretty weak, especially when gasoline and heat is hitting it. So I asked them to clear it up, and then they were super kind and cleared it up for me, so I wanted to clear it up for you guys. Now I'm holding this in my hand simply because I wanted something to hold in my hand while I talk to you guys. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back on the car, and I'm going to try and stuff a GoPro into the engine bay, so that way we can actually see down the Velocity Staks while I'm driving. So let's give that a shot and see what it looks like.